Hey there, Angie Wagler for Arise Now and the 2-Minute Wake Up Call. Well, I'm here in my kitchen, Saturday afternoon, Mother's Day weekend, and I've been doing some reminiscing, and I got some old recipes out, and I'm going to show you what I've made. I'm just going to grab this out of the oven. Yeah, these are cinnamon buns, cinnamon rolls. And I must say that they're looking pretty good. I'll have to make some icing for them after. But this recipe that I make these rolls with, these cinnamon buns with, is my grandma's coffee cake recipe. And it must have been about 30 years ago that my sister and I said to Grandma Rampsire, we said, can you teach us how to make your coffee cake? And here is this sheet where my sister wrote down the recipe with Grandma's instructions so many years ago. And you know, she would make her coffee cakes and she would make Chelsea buns, and I've sort of revamped the dough recipe and I make cinnamon buns with it now. But when I do, I remember my grandma and I remember the wonderful baker and cook that she was. And the other thing that I made today was my mom's hot melt cake. This recipe, oh my goodness, this brings back many memories from childhood. This was the cake that she made most often, and it's got like brown sugar and coconut icing that you put under the broiler. It's like candy on the top. And I got my recipe here that I wrote out from her recipe probably before I was ever married. And it's come through the years. Well, you know, this food makes me happy just thinking about this food. You know, it has such happy memories associated with it. And you know, these recipes have been passed down through the generations. They come down from a generation to a generation, and they're going to go to the next generation, to my children. They've enjoyed this food as they were growing up because I made it as well. And it got me thinking about the scriptures, about what God said to his people over and over again. He would say to them, you know what? He'd say, I'm a generational God. And he said, tell your children about my goodness. Tell your children about the things that I've done for you. Tell your children about my faithfulness. And you know, even as I enjoy this food that had such happy associations in the past, so it is with God. So it is with God when we pass down the stories about his goodness and how he's worked in our lives to our children and to the next generation. So I want you to think on that. Maybe there's some things that you can be thankful for too in what has been passed down to you from your mothers, your grandmothers, even from the Lord. As in your life. So I also want to invite you to join Paul and I tomorrow morning, Facebook Live, 10 o'clock. And we're going to be talking more about the faithfulness of God, the goodness of God. We're going to be talking more about mothers because it's Mother's Day tomorrow. And we would just love if you would join us. So until we meet again, I invite you to stay awake, stay alert.